I've come to learn that in every family, someone is born with this great purpose to awaken, to start healing the hurt and stop passing trauma to the next generations. Can that person be you? Be the awakened one that starts the journey of self-discovery, healing, and personal growth, and then share that wisdom with the others. You could create a life filled with meaning. You could contribute to elevating the collective consciousness, and you could open to happiness. Welcome to my circle. My name is Nicoleta Poroșanu, and together with this name, the world has assigned to me many other labels. I'm a psychologist, therapist, educator, and so on. But if we remove these masks, if we remove these veils that clutter our minds, I am a simple human being, a woman that has survived childhood trauma, and I don't feel alone. Very few of us have gone through life untouched. Like me and many others, you've probably been hurt too. But you see, trauma hasn't started with me and you. Trauma has been woven in our family ancestry. Trauma traveled through generations. And to heal our trauma, we need to unpack our past, to understand our inheritance. Who were our ancestors? How did they live? Have they been happy? Have they been sad? To understand the true story of our grandparents and parents. Because you see, their joy and sorrow runs through our veins. It's in our genes, in our implicit memory, in our acquired memory, and we cannot escape it. I personally denied and suppressed my childhood trauma for decades. Then I sublimated my pain in work, in caring for others. And all this time, I bypassed healing for so many years. And don't get me wrong, I did continue to study, I did continue to read, I educated myself, I attended workshops, I've been through online programs, I went into therapy, I did a whole lot. But that was not healing. That was a mad illusion in my conceptual mind. I thought I was healing my childhood trauma. I thought I was healing the other adverse experiences, the death of my mother in my own arms, the death of my husband at a young age, many relationship issues in my private, social, and professional life, a very stressful work environment, the impact of displacement and migration, the adjustment to a new culture. I lived a very intense life and I had very little rest. And my body kept the score, like Bessel van der Kolk says. And then one day, my body said no, like Gabor Mate said. I got ill with a very aggressive form of breast cancer that dragged me into the dark night of my soul, where I hit the rock bottom. I went all the way down into the suffering, and then I transcended the pain. I awakened to my existence beyond my ill physical body and beyond my program mind that was refusing to stay quiet, was refusing to stop. And that was a very profound spiritual experience that helped me realize that I could not heal as long as I was disconnected. And when I looked inside of my true self, I discovered with disappointment that for many years I pretended I was healing, wrapped into this rigid science of psychology that I have studied for so many years, and then stuck into the limitations of the three major schools of psychotherapy, which I've also studied and practiced for a good number of years. I mean, psychology and psychotherapy are great, but they are not enough to heal your trauma, especially complex trauma. Psychology and psychotherapy keep you stuck in the mind, trapped into some dark tunnels, where you forget that psychotherapia means, in fact, the healing of the soul. And so, awaken to this new dimension of life as I transcended the pain and I confronted the true nature of my reality, I permitted myself to step outside of the program mind and tap into the transpersonal psychology, to transcend this program tunnel mind and to allow my intuition to guide me through this beautiful process of real healing, real self-discovery, and real personal development, to find out who I am beyond this social persona, to get in touch with my true self. And that was so refreshing to reconnect, to come back home, to embody my life. And then I looked into epigenetics. How could I heal if I didn't know what I was made of? If I didn't understand why my genetic mutation was activated when only 50% of the women get cancer? And this beautiful science, the new biology called epigenetics, helped me understand how my inner and the outer environment influenced my health and turned on and off my 50 trillion cells. And that was absolutely mind blowing. And then I explored anthropology. How could I heal if I did not understand my ancestry, my origins, the life script, that story that was assigned to me before I was born? To understand how I got here and to figure out what shaped me into the human that I was today. And as I reviewed the 2.5 million years of human history, the extraordinary acts of kindness, and then the barbaric treatment humans have shown to each other, the genocides that are continuing on Earth as I'm speaking today, I then connected with our collective trauma, with that hurt that we have all inherited through evolutionary memory or through lived experience. And that explained some of my pain and the pain of the humanity. I also connected with the pain that was coming through my family history, that my family actually carried through generations, with my grandfather disappearing in the World War II and returning years later as a war prisoner, wounded in his body, mind, and soul, having witnessed horrific acts of human cruelty, and then conceiving my alcoholic and abusive father only weeks after his return. This is my transgenerational trauma. And we each carry a story from our past. Then I started to explore the quantum physics. How could I heal if I didn't understand where I'm coming from? And I learned that we exist in an infinite field of energy, which is the source of everything, and that matter represents only a billionth part in the entire universe. And as I sat there in my self-reflection, feeling sick from my chemotherapy treatment, I realized I was so small in this vast universe made of billions of galaxies, with Milky Way, only one of them, made itself of billions of planets like Earth. And I could then feel my ego deflating, and that felt so good. And then I went back to Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. And I asked myself, why am I here? How could I heal if I didn't know my purpose? Why was I here for? And as I learned from his logotherapy approach, I started to extract meaning from my pain, and I learned what really mattered to me. And I could then see it very clearly. I could connect with my life purpose. And I promised myself that if I survive, I will dedicate my life to serving others from my truth, not just from the psychology books. And through that dark night of my soul, I also embraced my new mantra, I have the choice. And I connected with the wisdom of the Eastern spirituality traditions. How could I heal if I wasn't mindful, if I wasn't clear where I was heading to? And that helped me cultivate awareness and transform my life the way I wanted. And here I am, 6 years later. I stand as living proof of that miracle. And if you are like me, perhaps you are bypassing healing as well, thinking that you're healing in your conceptual mind. But you see, I've come to learn that trauma hasn't only affected your mind, it affected your body and your soul too. And healing needs to take place in the wholeness of your being. And the first step in this process is understanding. This is why in my healing trauma model, I include not just psychology and psychotherapy, but also all of these disciplines that I mentioned: anthropology, epigenetics, quantum physics, transpersonal psychology, logotherapy, and Eastern spirituality traditions, because combined together, these 8 disciplines are so powerful. They help you reach understanding of your circumstances. And you really need to understand your pain in order to accept it. You need to accept it in order to surrender to what is and to what cannot be changed. In other words, to let go of what was and to let in what is about to unfold. And then naturally, you need to surrender in order to take distance from that event so you can extract some meaning from your pain, to learn the lessons that have been given to you through those traumatic experiences. And you need to learn that lesson so you can forgive. And you need to forgive in order to heal. And then, as you heal, you will transform from the inside out, absolutely effortlessly. This has been my journey, and this is the gift from my pain. This trauma healing model that I developed in time to move from confusion and pain to a sense of clarity, joy, and fulfillment. These are the 7 steps you need to follow in your healing journey too, and this is my gift to you. It is very possible. I've done it and I've guided many others in their journeys too. And if you are ready to change, if you suffered enough, if you truly, genuinely want to free yourself from this traumatic pain, to liberate yourself from these chains of trauma and hurt, then wait no longer. Make the first step and work on the understanding. Trauma is not what happened to you, but the current imprint of that pain still living inside of you. This is from Bessel van der Kolk. Trauma is not what happened to you, but what happened inside of you as a result of that traumatic experience. And this is from Gabor Mate. And these two, they speak my truth. And this is where you need to do the work as well, inside of yourself, at the very core of your being. Remember, in each family, someone is born with this great purpose: to awaken, to make an intentional choice to start healing the heart and stop passing trauma to the future generations. Let that person be you. Be the awakened one that starts the journey of self-discovery, healing, and personal growth, and then share that wisdom with the others. You will create a life filled with meaning. You will contribute to elevating the level of collective consciousness, and you will open to happiness.